First off, Coach, how's your adjustment going coming up here to BC?
I tell you what, it's been a great adjustment. You talk about working for a great head coach in Jeff Hafley, being part of a great academic institution like Boston College, and Boston's been a great city. And, I'm so impressed with our players, the student athletes that they are and how hard they work and how committed they are to academics.
Uh, from an institution standpoint, just coming to BC, in terms of what you feel your first football acumen with these guys and first sessions have gone, and from a training standpoint, how quickly are they picking up your offense, and what are some of the challenges that you sometimes face when you're bringing in a new system?
Well, we really haven't got started on the offense, but when you watch how the kids have bought in to the message of the football program and the work that they've put into the strength and conditioning program, it's been unbelievable, the commitment and the work and effort that they're putting into it.
Sort of the first conversations you and Jeff had as far as bringing you on, where you were, in terms of what you were exploring for options, and what kind of drew you here?
Well, sure. I knew when Coach Hafley first called and asked me if I would be interested in being his offensive coordinator at Boston College. I knew right away that I was definitely interested. It was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do it because, one, I believe and I trust Coach Hafley. I want to help him build a championship football program. I know that Coach Hafley is authentic. He is an unbelievable communicator. He is an unbelievable coach. And I just want to be part of something special. And after talking to Coach Hafley, I knew that Boston College was the type of place that he would do special things at.
In terms of your relationship with him, I mean, I don't know where you guys might have first crossed paths or how you guys kind of connected. Maybe it's on.
Yeah, Coach Hafley and myself, we first coached at the University of Pittsburgh together under Dave Wanstead. Coach Wanstead was a great mentor to both of us. And then we both went to Rutgers together. And, probably where I really got to know Coach Hafley was on the recruiting trail. I was the offensive coordinator. Coach Hafley was always recruiting the best players in the state of New Jersey. So I was in the car with Coach Hafley a lot on those recruiting trips. And one, I could see that someday he was going to be a great head coach because of his ability to communicate and relate not only to players but to coaches and people in general. And he's got a great heart. He truly cares about the student athlete on and off the field. He wants to see people be successful. So, yeah, that's where Coach Hafley and I first met, coaching ball at Pitt.
Expertise or whatever, but I would assume you guys have to kind of be on the same page a lot in terms of how you guys see offense running and what you guys is like schematically and system wise, X and O stuff. But talk about kind of like how things line up there when you talk about when you guys talk to each other about like the strategy stuff.
Well, first off, Coach Hafley is a great football coach. Not only one of the best defensive back coaches in the country, but you're talking about a guy that could, understands the whole picture. Fundamentals, technique, scheme, base packages, sub packages, pressure packages. So what we both believe in and what we talked about was blending the best of the National Football League with the best of college football and high school football. Being able to bring the concepts from the NFL and college and blending it together, to put our players in a position to be successful.
Of that, and I mean, when you look down the stat sheet, there's so much sort of NFL experience, but are there other examples from programs around the country where it's like, hey, like what they're doing at this level can very much be implemented or blended, like you said, at the college level and under?
Well, the way I see it is, coaching in the National Football League is such an honor. You're coaching great players, but you're coaching the X's and O's all day and the fundamentals and techniques. So there's things that are being done in the National Football League that we want to do here. In terms of how you run the ball, how you protect the quarterback, how you throw the ball. And then there's things that are in college football are starting to make its way to the National Football League. The quarterback runs, the RPOs, playing some no huddle. So we want to blend the best of both and have a very dynamic, explosive offense here at Boston College. And once again, it's about players, not plays. We want to put our players in a position to be successful.
Coach, with Phil Jurgovic's situation still up in the air, how do you approach the quarterback position as you're going into spring ball?
I approach it the same every day, whether Phil gets the waiver or doesn't. You know, it's going to be a very competitive room, and the best player is going to be the starting quarterback.
In terms of inheriting an intact offensive line, does that kind of accelerate the learning process, knowing that, you know, you get 4 guys back, that 2 of them were all conference?
Well, first off, what a great offensive line, right? Great kids, good players. We hired a really good offensive line coach, in Coach Applebaum. You know, his experience and then the people that recommended him. We're really excited about what we believe we'll be able to do up front.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the offensive line being intact, I mean, that's where you start building from. So if they're already there, can you kind of accelerate the program a little bit?
Well, I don't know if it's accelerating the program, but I think it's great to have 4 guys back and some depth behind them. And as an offensive coordinator, I've always believed the personality of your offense comes from your offensive line. You know, we want to be tough, we want to be nasty, you know, and we want to set the tempo up front. So having those guys coming back is certainly an advantage.
Coach, when you're out on the recruiting trail, what are some key characteristics that you look for in players?
Well, one, you look for student athletes, guys that have high character, guys that love football, guys that play hard, and then there's also they got to have a certain skill set. Every position has different measurables that you'd like to look for. You know, certain height, certain weight, you know, certain speeds, quickness. But it comes down to one, kids that want to be great student athletes that love the game of football and are committed to the process.
Can you highlight any likely changes schematically going from, you know, the old system to this new one?
No, I probably really can't because I'm not real familiar with the old system.
Anything else for Coach Cignetti? We'll come back to this.
Coach, just with the overall, what you're trying to implement, you mentioned the concepts from the NFL and blending it with college. What do you look for in your individual quarterbacks in the room to just learn about the position and the initial steps of some of the things that maybe you know from the NFL and some of the things that they might not know about the further position?
Well, I think in general, what you look for in a quarterback is, one, a great leader who can lead his team, a quarterback that has some toughness, some moxie. But they got to have functional intelligence, too. They got to have the ability to think and react quickly and make the correct decision. You know, those defenses move fast on the other side, so they got to be able to process information accurately. And you got to be able to throw the ball accurately. You got to be able to complete the ball.
Obviously, if you look at last year, so much of the production was A.J. Dillon, but when you get here and you just take a glance at what you have, where are the areas where you see like a lot of potential or need, I guess, potentially?
Well, once again, we have not looked at last year's film. We're moving forward. You know, so we know what we want to do, and we want to make sure we put our players in a position to be successful. You know, examples in the past. We get to the University of Pittsburgh. We have an athlete, Doran Dickerson, who they had not quite found his niche. We found a position for him. He became a first-team All-American. You know, we go to Rutgers University where Mohamed Sanu was there, and they quite did not find his niche yet. And 116 catches later, you know, so it's kind of the same mode. Let's see what we have. Let's try to put everyone in a position to be successful and win some football games.
Can see what you have, whether it's.
Oh, absolutely. Until we get on the field with these guys, we really don't know what we have yet.